Welcome back. Sorry for the delay. Life has definitely gotten in the way. I missed Moon Day, but nonetheless, I'm doing my thoughts and opinions on SMC 33, Act 32, Infinity 6, 3 Guardians. Right off the bat, when Chibi Moon ran to Pluto, I got really choked up. When Sailor Moon turned into Princess Serenity and Sailor Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune were kneeling to her and introducing themselves, that was just overwhelmingly beautiful. I absolutely love that. And as they continued to tell their story and were asking for their future queen's forgiveness, I was so entranced by that whole scene. And but their voices are just so good too. But it's so interesting how they kind of went from apologetic to scolding back to apologetic so seamlessly. It was really cute, I thought, when Uranus apologized for confusing Usagi. And then when Neptune explained that Uranus is both male and female, I thought that was a really nice touch. And it was so interesting, and yet it was such a good transition, although a little jarring, to kind of go from that serious scene to watching Usagi scrambling to wake up and acting like Usagi, classic Usagi. And I just love when Luna, the cats, watch the news with Usagi's dad. It's so cute. When Luna told Chibiusa that she isn't suspicious of Hotaru, I was just sitting there thinking, oh, but you should be. And I really do love how supportive Chibiusa and Usagi are with each other in SMC versus how they were in OSM. I like that Usagi's making sure that Chibiusa is okay in doing this mission of watching and keeping her eye on Hotaru. And that little moment when Chibiusa was like, I'm going to do my best as a guardian, and they all just kind of look at her. It was just, such a proud moment. And we are back with Dr. Tamao and Kaori Knight, and he kind of hits her below the belt a little when he's like, oh, you and your underlings can't take out the anomalies, the guardians. I feel like, ooh, that's a little reverse psychology there maybe. I do love when the lights show up in Kaori Knight's water mirror. I just love those parts. It's really, I love that part. Then of course, Supreme, I never can say her name right. She makes her appearance. And then we see Hotaru asking Chibiusa to meet with her, but then we see Hotaru being operated on by her father. And of course, she's not able to make the meeting with Chibiusa, and Chibiusa's like, what's going on? You know, she's feeling very in the dark. So she goes to Hotaru's and she sees Hotaru's new parts and understandably freaks out a bit. Then we see, a shocked Hotaru seeing Chibiusa seeing her, and she's like, as Chibiusa's running away, and we see Hotaru kind of flash to the accident, the fire that brought her to her fate. And she's crying about thinking, why is she even alive? And, sees a vision of Michiru, Haruka, and Setsuna. And she throws her crystal at them as the vision disappears. So I thought that was really well done. Then, of course, we see Chibiusa. She was running away from Hotaru and, then kind of stopping and thinking, gee, maybe I was a little too hasty about this. And then she's showered in very strange hail that makes her weak, and her crystal reacts, and she happens upon Mamoru and Usagi. Then we're back to Supreme, and she shows up to Haruka, calling her out as one of the students that has disappeared. And I have to say, when Supreme's hell snaps Michiru's violin string, that was it was a little nanosecond of humor that I thought was really well placed, in my opinion. Then we flash back to the inner Senshi, and I love kind of when Jupiter was like, we don't need to help them, meaning Sailor, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. And I kind of like that moment, because then Sailor Moon kind of you flash to her, and she, pulls rank a little bit. She acts like the leader, and she's like, we're going to save all the townspeople, and we're going to save those 3 as well. So of course they show up to the fight announced by Mars's snake fire. and only to have Supreme just completely wipe them out and control all their minds, except for Sailor Moon, who's seeing this and watching in fear. And then that's kind of when everything really goes haywire, because everybody's fighting each other, and Chibi Moon shows up with Tuxedo Mask, and she tries her attack, and of course it doesn't work because it accidentally hits Jupiter, and Jupiter tries to attack her, and Tux, obviously protects her, and, because everybody's minds are being controlled, so it's just complete chaos, and, Sailor Moon's heart is crying out as to why they have to fight each other again, and, she knows that they all fight for the same reason, essentially, to protect the precious things. And Tux, Chibi Moon, and Sailor Moon, I love when they combine their hearts to combine their power. And the Holy Grail appears, and she ends saying, "Everyone lend me your power." And I really love this, because once again, I was very enthralled in this episode, and it really flowed very well. They're really getting everything in there, and it's just, again, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the end? Like, that's kind of been the recurring theme through this season. It's like, you're so enthralled in the episode, and it's like, wait, it's over? When did that happen? But yeah, it was another really great episode. And again, I still love the ending song. And I think, honestly, even though it's so different than the kind of serious tone of this arc, I think it's actually a good thing, because you're so enthralled in the episode, and then you hear this happy little song, and I think for me, it reminds me to breathe, because I'm so enthralled in the episode, and then I'm like, oh, happy, okay, I can breathe again, So I think that, I see that as maybe that's one of the reasons they put this song there, because it's so intense, and it's like, okay, good. Okay, I got a breather. I can breathe again, But it's so cute. I love that song. But yep, the next episode is Act 33, Infinity 7, Transformation, Super Sailor Moon. So thanks for hanging out with me, Moonies. Come back next week. And if you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. Until next time, Moonies.